Good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast Live with Ron Spikes. You know, it comes a time where you just have to get right into the story. I got a picture up here, and I think the Democratic Party has got here. They're backing up. You know, I played some stuff about a week ago about going on about 2 days ago. And I didn't think I was going to have to get back on the air this soon about what was going on in the Democratic Party. There has been people that have given their lives to fight for issues within the Democratic Party. And it seems like they're allowing this man to destroy him. He hasn't even been in office 3 months yet. 3 months yet. And he's already destroying the Democratic Party. They voting against each other. They can't stand with each other. Are they on this sinking ship? Are they lost sheep out there? You have to ask yourself. You truly have to ask yourself, where do we go from here? What direction are they putting? Are we going? You might as well come up with another party. You're already here. You're already here. You might as well come up with another party and give it another name. The donkeys are out to pasture. Pasture. You know, that's in Texas. Put donkeys out. Donkeys don't mix with any other horse. I might be wrong, but I think when I used to do those shows, they say you can put a donkey in pasture and he'll take care of everything that's out there. Well, I'm going to tell you, these donkeys have been put out the carrots to pasture. Give them a carrot. Give them a carrot or something, and listening to what's going on. If you listen, you know me. I'm bringing receipts, as you young people say. I got receipts. I got receipts. You know, he got hair now. Have we been deceived all this time? Have they been deceiving us all this time? He's got hair. One of these videos up, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you that he has hair. But look at that look. Is that somebody that's supporting the party? He look like he don't even know what that guy is up there saying. And I guess that's the reason why he did what he did. When you vote against your best interest, see, they were supposed to be in this group that stood together, had a conversation, going different places. But you know what? I'm gonna go. I got to go back here because he said it. He was being political. He was doing a Byron Glass for me. But he said it then, and it still resonates today. I got it pulled up. So just remember this picture.
I then protest that, and I do that. But I would protest, notwithstanding the way they've done it, simply because I think that at some point, even if nobody stands with you on some issues, they are so important that if nobody stands with you, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all.
I agree with you, but I also believe Democrats are cowards. And that's why they didn't call out Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's why they didn't call out Joe Wilson when he did it. And Republicans, what happened the other night, it made a weak party look weaker.
You heard it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it this time. It was said, and you didn't get it. And for those of you that didn't see this interview, I'm not going to bring it all the way up because I've done it already. This was before anything else happened. Sometimes you got to realize where you at. I hate to say that. You got to realize where you at and where you going. The Democratic Party don't have a clue. Don't have a clue of where they going. And I guess I don't either because this camera's cutting up, but that's okay. We're going to still go with it. I'm going to add this to the stage. I'm on the air was talking about what great shape he's in. He didn't just one day wake up and have that debate and he turned to that person that Oh, this is just a reminder. I was wearing my Stacey Abrams hat then, so it goes back to this. I had to make sure y'all heard it again because this is a repeat. See, I got on my Texans hat today. Talking about them Democrats. I want to let you know I'm down here in Texas where they got some donkeys that we saw. It's a lot of people that said blame for this, and then you wonder how come don't nobody want to believe you? How come nobody wants to vote for you? How come somebody just don't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth? I don't know who that guy was, but golly, he made some good points. I know. I'm just messing around. But, on a serious note, if you voted for the Democratic Party in the last election, you should be upset. You should be upset. Because they deceived you in so many ways. They deceived you in so many ways. And here we are. We just discovering the truth. And when I saw this today, I'm going to have to cut off that other part up there so you can see the whole thing. When I saw this today, this is where I said to myself, we have to get on the air. We have to do something. I was busy. I stopped what I was doing. I'm always out there looking on the internet, trying to become a more educated voter, trying to become like, what did Congressman Al Green say? I'm an educated politician. They don't know what I'm doing. They don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to go here so you young people can understand. They not like Al Green and Jasmine Crockett. They're not like them. If you remember, if you've been following me, we just had Black Vote Matters. And they got a lot of people out there working, trying to improve what's going on. Trying to improve the situation, trying to get this man out of office. My next show is going to be about showing you what's really going on in politics and about them playing chess while we're playing checkers. But I can't do that now. They showing their hand. They sitting at the poker table. And they might as well turn up, throw their cards in and flop. Whatever poker chips that they had in front of them, they can put them in, throw them in. You had a bust. You have busted. I just want y'all to read that. You can read it for yourself. I just want to read the first sentence. I know you are upset and devastated. We have tried to mobilize people from all over to get the Senate Dems to do what's right. Jasmine, you know I love me some Jasmine Crockett. I ain't gonna lie. But sometimes the people within the Congress needs to do what's right too. Sometimes the people within the Congress needs to do what's right too. When that dude when Al Green, I'm gonna say Congressman Al Green because he deserves the respect. When Al Green held up that cane, everybody looked. Nobody got up. When they walked over there and they had him escorted out of the chamber, you know who should have been escorting him out of the chamber? Everybody that called themselves a Democrat. And it wasn't even, it hasn't been, how many days? We can't even focus on Al Green. Because the party is not together from the top to the bottom. And that was the same thing that I was saying before. If it don't start at the top, how do you expect the bottom to follow? Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Jasmine, I appreciate it. It's not your place to apologize. It's not your place. You in the place. It's not Al Green's place to get escorted out without escorts from the Democratic Party, without his party turning around to support him. You know, it's so bad out there for the Democrats. I got receipts.
And obviously, they're in complete disarray right now. We're seeing this generational divide. I mean, Nancy Pelosi already stepped down from leadership in the House. Chuck Schumer's obviously still there in the Senate. And they're in an ideological divide as well. You look at the squad with AOC very upset, obviously, with Chuck Schumer going ahead and moving forward with this. And so they're trying to figure out.
Let me help you a little bit. This happened before. This happened before. Did you hear what she said? This happened before. But they was able to get it under control and bring it back in the house. They so lost that they were there. This has been repeated before. I don't want to get up here and I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to just believe me. I just want you to look. You can see with your own eyes. You can hear with your own ears. You know, if you read my statement, somehow, somewhere, they need to put a couple of cell phones and put some power to them in these graves, because that's about as much sense as what's going on right now. Because nobody that's up here on this side of the ground is breathing any life into the Democratic Party, except for those two that stood up. Those two that made a difference. I don't know how we got here, but I'm gonna tell you. Had something to do with this election. Has something to do with this election. You know, I was looking at MSNBC, and I was thinking about Joy Reid. They talking about Boy Scouts. Not saying that wasn't a good story. They talking about Boy Scouts while the Democratic Party is going down the drain. Somebody did. Let me just say, I'm going to say it like I want to say it. You know, when you go to the bathroom, I remember this, and I thought it was humorous at that time, and it's still kind of funny, because when I look at this, it lets you know. They said when you go to the bathroom, you still have to use the paperwork before you can get out of there. Democratic Party, you done stepped in it. You done stepped in it. The American public, you know, we're worried about presidential election. We should be worrying about how many people switching from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party at this point. That's not the election might not even be the issue. 3 months in. 3 months in, and y'all crumbling. And the real reason why I'm holding y'all accountable for what's going on right now, because I remember when we had a Democratic Congress. I remember when we had a Democratic Senate. And I remember when we had a Democratic president. And I remember the words that were coming out of people's mouth. You know a black man can't do that. You know a black man can't offend, can't stand up like everybody else. This man he don't care what you say. He's standing up. He making his moves right in front of your face. He's not running from you. He doesn't care. But we hold our people to a higher standard, and we say what they can't do before they even attempt to do anything. Well, no, we got to keep the decorum. We got to keep the decorum going. We got to keep it going, because that's the way we get stuff done in
I
America.
guess the Senate Democratic leader, your senator, said at this meeting that he is going to vote for cloture. He is going to vote to allow there to be a simple majority vote.
Held a town hall or has seen what has been happening in town halls. American people, whether they are Republicans, independents, Democrats, are up in arms about Elon Musk and the actual gutting of federal agencies across the board. This continuing resolution codifies much of this chaos that Elon Musk is wreaking havoc on the federal government. It codifies many of those changes.
Look, I'm not saying it. Look. He said it ahead of time what he was going to do. And we get upset. And here we are upset. Here we are at a point where we're saying, what do we do? I'm going to tell you something about the hood. About the hood. I'm going to try to relate this back to what's going on right now in the Democratic Party. And I hate to use this analogy, but y'all need to know where you're at. See, some of y'all have never been in the situation I'm about to talk about. Some of y'all was raised in suburbs and in communities and stuff like that, in different communities. You went to elite schools. You didn't have to struggle. You got into your office and you forgot where you came from. But for us people that grew up I'm talking about. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. When you go, I gotta say it. It's what happens. It's what's going on, and I'm shaking my fingers. And I was so upset earlier. I was just making motions with my hands to make a point so we can do something about it. And I'm telling you, I'm out here and I'm talking direct to you right now in the tone that I'm talking to you, because I need you to do something. It's a midterm elections that's coming up, and you're more worried about see, that shows you how upset I am. My headphones are falling off. I really don't need them because I can talk on this all day, but you're worried about the presidential election, but the midterms are coming up. Some of y'all ain't gonna make it. Some of y'all ain't gonna make it. And you can't even have nobody, you know what the sad part of it is? You can't even have nobody come back to support you. What your senior Democrats which one of them you want to come support you? You know why? You know why? Because they ask you direct questions before the election. They ask you direct questions before the elections. And you know what you did? And you're paying for it. You know what you did? You lied. Not only did you deceive yourself, but you deceived the American public with a lie. You did. I don't want to remind you, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, but you take the truth and you grow from it. Don't say that the American public don't know what's going on. Don't use excuses. Don't come out and say, you know what? They taking away your Social Security. They taking away your VA benefits. They taking this away from the American. They taking that away from the American public. They taking away. They're firing people within offices. Last month, VA benefits came in a check. See, sometimes people got to tell you that you're going down the wrong path. Their amount didn't change. Social Security checks came last month. Their amounts didn't change. Anybody that received a government check, I'm going to say almost everybody except for the people that they fired, their amounts changed. Sometimes you got to tell the truth. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. But this time you got to wear that truth. Don't get up there telling those lies. And I can tell you, let me share receipts with you. I got my check. I haven't heard one person on Social Security say that their check didn't come. I haven't heard one person that was qualified for benefits through the VA administration that said that their check didn't come. But you insist on telling them that they're destroying it. They tearing it down. No, they firing people. Tell the truth. They firing people within those organizations. They may not be right, but don't say that they destroying the checks that people are getting. And then next month when you go to that bank or that post office or wherever, and that check is the same amount that it was that they was getting, what do you look like? I know I'm calling you out, but I'm trying to get you to correct your message because people are not listening to what you are saying. The price of eggs are high. They was on their way up before he came in the office. This where we at right now, it was gonna happen. It was on its way. That's what you got to tell the American public. It was on its way. Didn't matter who was in office. How do we correct it? That's for you guys to solve. That's what you should be saying. You know, we need to correct these prices. We need to make sure that your checks go further than where they're at. We need to make sure that we don't give this man more ammunition by letting the federal government shut down. Because then, as you talk about this man right here, then, yeah, Social Security would be shut down. Social Security, VA checks, and everything else would be halted. Get the message. Because you see, you're going to go out there and deceive the American public with that lie talking about, oh, he gonna take away this, he gonna take away that. And I'm telling you, I want one person that's on Social Security. I want one person that's on disability. And IRS checks and stuff like that. I done heard people say they're getting checks from the IRS. And you out there telling them a lie. I done heard a conversation of a person that said they had money deposited into their account that they didn't even know where it came from, but it came from the IRS. Now, I'm just a little person over here on this side. But let me break that down to you so you won't get it confused. Get it confused. If you work for a government institution, a police officer, and you became a police officer where you wasn't paying into Social Security, y'all was in the house when it passed. They're starting to pay those people their money that they owed. Oh, it's coming from where? Social Security. The checks ain't stopped, but the lies are being told. The checks ain't stopped, but the lies are being told. Where are we going to stop? I'm going here. I got to go here because, see, when I say it, I represent two gents, Byron Glass and myself, A.F. Riggins, John, and all the rest of us. See, I tried. See, look, I got to go here before I go to the next one. One of my friends I used to be in the service with, her and her husband listened to my last podcast, and you know what she told me? She said, Ron, see, that was some local information. She said, me and my husband, we listened to it all. But there was some local information. It didn't, it didn't apply to us. I could have got upset. I said, man, I'm putting all this stuff out here. I'm trying to explain who I am, why I'm out here on this podcast. But what she basically told me was, Ron, you don't have to do that. Just put out the information and let us discern it for ourselves. And from this day forward, I ain't gonna explain myself. I'm just gonna put it out there and let people figure it out for themselves. If they don't do the research, at least I've done my job. I put it in their face. Melanie, what did you say? Some of the strongest words I ever had. On the George Pettis Bridge. Not this last time. Not the time before. Not when John Lewis re-walked across the bridge, but when he first walked across the bridge with Dr. Martin Luther King and all those people. They didn't have local government, as she said. She said they put dogs on them. They ran over them with horses. They did everything that they possibly could to those people that was on that bridge. But she said, you know what? They didn't have local government. They didn't have no police force down there to defend them. They didn't have Army National Guard. They didn't have nobody standing up for them. They took that beating. But she said, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. They had the Constitution. We're at that point right now. It's not about what you're doing. It's what you're showing the American public. Because the Republicans all these years have been saying what you're doing. Now it's coming out. You're bringing people out of retirement. Nancy Pelosi. Now, I guess you're going to bring Obama up next. I guess the next podcast at Michelle Obama, you're going to have her directed at we need to say where we at. We need to go where we at. She on a second podcast, and they say it ain't doing too good out there. I'm just keeping it real. Keeping it real. Here we go. I got to do this one.
I was a lifelong Republican and quit the party over Donald Trump because he is someone who doesn't respect the Constitution and is trying to rule like a king. So, but look, I was part of the Tea Party movement. I watched what happened and how Republicans were a resistance opposition party when Democrats ran everything. And watching this happen now as someone who's an independent that's pro-democracy, that I guess you can say caucuses with the Democrats now, it is very frustrating. When you don't have a leader, there's no unification in a message. It hurts the grassroots. Imagine if, during World War II, and you saw what was happening with the bombs over London, and then it was just like, Churchill's just going to say.
They got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic.
And the reason why I brought him up, because I'm going to bring the lady up and let her finish her statement, but I brought him up so you could see they're not lying. She said she would. I'm going to bring her back up.
We're going to capitulate now because, what are we going to do about it? This is not the way you lead. What happens is that the Republicans who are in charge, they have to explain why workers aren't getting paid. They need to explain why they can't run the government. And the Democrats need to say, we were fighting for you. It's not they're in charge. And show that people are being fought for. I'm watching what's happening. And when you have a demoralized base, you're never going to lead an opposition. If you don't have the chutzpah, if you don't have the intestinal fortitude to lead, then get the hell out of the way, Chuck Schumer, and let the people who are willing to fight for their constituents lead the party. Because this is not the way to win.
Okay, she makes a compelling case that this is a leadership issue. Okay?
100%.
What? Wait. Did you hear what she said? She said she makes a compelling case. I think we heard that somewhere. As a matter of fact, I know we heard that somewhere. But wait a minute. It gets better than this in this panel. Hold on. This is a panel. I need you to hear the other part of it. I need you to hear it. Let me see if it does the same thing. See, hold on. I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from because I can't. It happens. It happens. I told you about this electronic stuff. It happens, but you need to listen.
Caucus is furious. I never before. My parents were Democrats. I've been a Democrat.
What did I tell you? I told you, is this stuff. I don't even know where that's coming from. Everything is messing up. So I can leave you with this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. I had to wait till that played out because I couldn't stop it. But it was a couple of points that was made during that conversation. It was a couple of points that was made during that conversation. And Chuck Schumer, I disagree with you. I figured that you should have kept the party together. But see, what most people don't, what they're not telling you is if the government would have shut down, I'm gonna go back to here. I'm gonna remind you of what I was saying earlier. If the government would have shut down, yeah, they would have been able to point the finger at the Republicans. But it didn't. It's not going to affect them. It's going to affect those people that I was telling you about this. Still getting those checks. It hasn't stopped. Go ask your mother. Go ask your mother. Is that check still coming? Go ask a disabled person. Is that Medicaid check still coming? Go ask them. Ask a vet. If you see them going down the road, ask them, did they get their check last month? But if this government would have shut down, guess what? It'd have been a whole different story. A whole different story. I wish I could bring up, I'm scared to bring up a video now because I don't know what I'm going to get. So I'm going to try to go through this and you've seen a lot of receipts. A lot of receipts. But got to give him a chance. Got to give him a chance because here it comes. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I think I know what I did. But I'm going to try this one. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to leave y'all right where you're at because I think that you have enough ammunition to understand that we are in some confused times. Very confused times. If you don't believe me, let me see if this works. Let me see if this works. Oh, yeah, it works. Got a little bit of pause up front.
Good afternoon. House Democrats remain strongly opposed to the partisan Republican spending bill that will hurt families, hurt veterans, hurt seniors, and hurt the American people.
Now, I want you to listen to what he just said. Remember what I told you about getting checks? Go ask somebody. Get your own receipts. Go ask somebody. Did they check come? Did they check come? What would happen if the government shut down? Those checks wouldn't have came. So I'm going to let him finish.
It is a false choice that Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and House Republicans have been presenting between their reckless and partisan spending bill and a government shutdown. Why are we here right now in terms of the moment that is in front of us?
I'm going to stop him right there. That sounds like a presidential speech waiting to happen. Go back and look at his speeches before he dropped out of the election. Someone then coached him up. But he don't know. I mean, I don't know how to communicate it to our people. I'm not holding him accountable, but you got to hold the people that he lead because they didn't care if you didn't get your check. They'd rather have the whole thing shut down. It's not correct. I mean, and the only thing the Republicans, chess and checkers, the only thing the Republicans is going to say is, it's on you, bro. You shut it down. Thank God somebody stepped up and had some sense and said, you know what? I'm not going that way. I'm not going that way. I'm going to play this and then I'm going to get out of here. I think I dropped enough.
It's because Donald Trump and House Republicans decided to walk away from the negotiating table when there were bipartisan conversations ongoing between House Democrats, House Republicans, Senate Democrats, and Senate Republicans in a manner consistent with the Bipartisan Fiscal Responsibility Act that was passed in May of 2023. Donald Trump ordered House Republicans to walk away from the negotiating table at the end of February. House Republicans then passed a partisan and reckless bill that cuts funding for health care, cuts funding for veterans, and cuts funding for nutritional assistance to children and families. It's an unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American spending bill. That's why House Democrats remain strongly opposed. Donald Trump orders them to walk away from the negotiating table. Step one, Step 2, House Republicans passed a partisan and reckless
moving forward. Any indications on what the Democrats are going to do as they look to take back the House in the midterms?
Well, right now they're asking, as they say, the hard questions. They're wondering what they should do, how they should move forward. They are hearing from, essentially Democratic figures to see what they should do. One of the messages I was told from Representative Liccardo out of California that he's hearing is that Democrats have to focus their message, that they can't just attack all things all the time. So I think what you're going to see is a real focusing on, as I mentioned earlier, Medicaid and saving the Medicaid and other social programs, as well as the cost of living. And one member even asking, back 50 days, are you better off now than you were before? Which is a similar message that Republicans asked Americans when the presidential election was taking place. Remember, Trump would ask, well, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Democrats are trying to turn the tables and ask that very question these days.
They're copying the plan that has been laid out to them. They don't have a direction in which to go, but they want you to believe that they do. So they're reaching back. They're in such a disarray up there that they're reaching to get the old Republican plan and throw it back in their face. But the Republicans are probably ahead of them. Even on that. It's sad, America. It's sad. It's a sad state in which we're in right now. But I don't know how we get out of it. If you got a clue, let me know.
Sharp rebuke in public to Senator Chuck Schumer over his
Pelosi. I'm telling you, this didn't just start today. That's the point I want to make. This did not just start today. This party has been in disarray for a long time. With that being said, I want to tell you, I'm glad we got a God. I'm glad we got a God. And I'm going to get out of here. And I'm going to get out of here with this. Melanie, with this. They didn't have local government. They didn't have local government, but they had a constitution. See, out of everything that they have said, out of everything that they have said, out of everything that they're trying to use scare tactics on, we still got a constitution. And they say this man is dismantling the Constitution. No, he's doing exactly what every citizen has a right to do. And all the stuff that they're talking about, they're blocking out there with these federal judges. I need you to wake up. I need you to wake up, because those federal judges, they know where they stand before they go into that courtroom, and they picking and choosing the judges that they want to try to stop this man with. They're trying to stack the deck, so to speak. I'm not saying the Republicans wouldn't have did the same thing, but I'm saying you need to become an educated voter. You need to stop listening to some of your people that's trying to spoon feed you out here, because that's the reason why they're here right now. You're not a baby. You got all this internet, all this stuff that I just got through putting on the air. You got access to it. You got access to it. Go out there and as Glass said, become an educated voter. Don't let nobody just tell you something. When you were a teenager, and I got to go here because that was the most difficult time that most people go through when their kids become teenagers. Because when they was in kindergarten through elementary school, it was mom, dad, how do you feel about this? It was everything that you could say. They followed you. We're in high school now. And I'll tell you, I had 4 kids go through high school. And when they get to high school, those people out there, I got to break it down like this, because the kids that they going to school, the ones that's not paying the bills in the house, the ones that's not having accomplished anything in life, other than being in high school, they start making statements like, my friend told me this. My friend told me that. I want to tell your friend to come pay some bills in my house. With that being said, maybe some of y'all will get it. Some of y'all with kids will understand what I'm saying because you done been there. My friend. Bye. Thank God, thank God, thank God. I had a great time. I hope you learned something. I hope you go out there and do your research and educate yourself. Don't let them put a ring in your nose and lead you around like you're a pasture animal. Don't let them do it. Ms. Crockett, you're not responsible for apology. Al Green, I almost say Judge Al Green. He was one of those too. He was a judge here in Houston for a long time before he became a congressman. Congressman Al Green, I hate to say it, you're on your own, man. Ain't nobody from leadership coming back to support you. And they, you know what? I'm getting out of here, I know. I didn't already say God's name, so I'm going to try to hold to this. But they might even be glad that the Congress is trying to handicap you, your own party, because you made them look bad. Not look bad, but look lost. Like sheep. Nobody. Out. Bye.